Today's topic is finding the domain and the range of a function. The domain is the set of all possible x values, and the range is the set of all possible y values. We're going to practice writing this in set notation so that you get used to seeing set notation as well as using set notation. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the relations above. Remember, some were functions, some were not. And we're going to identify the domain and the range values. So if we look back up at table A, our domain values are the x values, -1, 0, and 1. Because it is a table, it's a finite list. So those are the only possible x values we can use. So to show this, we're going to use our brackets, which are the squiggly lines, and then we're going to list the points in order from least to greatest, separated by commas, and close with a bracket. For the y values in this table, they were 1, 0, and 1. So again, I'm just going to list them in order from least to greatest, listing each one only once. So even though the 1 presents itself twice, I'm only writing it once in my range. Okay. Table B, again, because it's a table, set, so we're only going to list the numbers given to us. Here I have 3, 0, and 3. So I'm just going to use the 0 and the 3 once. We do not repeat numbers. And then for my range, I have -6, 1, and 6. So I'm separating each one with commas, listing from least to greatest, only including the values given. C and D were written in set notation. So these, again, you are just listing ordered pairs. You cannot assume that any other numbers would be part of the values allowed. So for C, we had 3, 4, and 2 as our domain. So in order from least to greatest will be 2, 3, 4. And then for D, we have 1, 0, and 1. So my domain, or my range values, are going to just be the 0 and the 1. I apologize. That is for D, not the range. This is why we use pencil. So 0, 1 is the domain values for D. My range values are the y values. So for C, that is -1 and 3. And for the D values, I have 8, -2, and -3. So in order from least to greatest, I have this. Okay. Now, E and F are a little bit different because they are graphs. So we show this with a different way. We have to show endpoints, and then if there are arrows, meaning it would continue forever, we use the infinity and negative infinity signs. So if we look at E, okay, my domain, because the graph, it has the arrows and would continue forever in either direction if we let it, that actually means that our values can get infinitely small or infinitely large. So here we don't use the brackets, we're going to use parentheses, and we're going to go from -infinity to a positive infinity. And again, this is because all possible x values can be used in this graph. I know this because of the arrows on the end of the graph. The range, however, is a little bit different. If you look at your graph for graph E, there is a minimum point. See how it cannot go below that point. It never will. So that is our minimum point. It's also included, so we're going to use a square bracket, and that value is -1. So it will be -1. And then again, the arrows continue forever, so it goes to infinity. So we have two different endpoints that we're going to use. The round parentheses are used when a point is not included or not specified.
Attention teachers and staff, at this time, if you are interested in being tested for COVID, please come down to the office. Again, teachers, the tester is leaving. If you are interested in being tested, please come down at this time. Thank you.
Okay. So parentheses are used when a point is not included. And then the square brackets are used when it is. So think about our like open and closed dot. Okay, so this is our open dot, closed dot. Okay. Now for F, it's different. For F, our domain has an ending point, and that ending point is at -2. So here we know we have -2, but then the arrows tell us it's going to continue forever in the opposite direction. Our range values do not have a minimum or a maximum, so those are going to both continue. The round parentheses are used when we use the infinity symbol because it's not an exact value, right? It's an idea that it will keep going. The square brackets are used when we know the number and it is included in the graph. So closed dot, open dot.